Alright, y'all, grab your popcorn because this one is messy in ways that are hard to even wrap your head around. Allegedly, Papoose's side chick popped up online and said, "I'm in Hawaii," at the exact same time Clarissa Shields and Papoose were supposedly there celebrating one of her big wins. And that's when the internet collectively froze. This wasn't just another gossip post or tea moment. According to Tasha K, this alleged situation was layered, complicated, and included multiple people in multiple states. Allegedly, Papoose was allegedly juggling relationships, some public, some private, and it all unfolded right before Clarissa's championship moment. Now, accusing a married man of cheating is one thing, but allegedly cheating on the undefeated knockout queen in public view is an entirely different kind of messy. And if you want to understand why Tasha K's exposure hit the internet like a bullet, we have to start with the one thing most people don't want to admit. Allegedly, Papoose never fully closed the chapter on his marriage to Remy Ma. By the time Papoose and Clarissa started appearing together publicly, holding hands, kissing after fights, posting selfies from airports to hotel rooms, fans were already side-eyeing the situation. It wasn't just fast, it was suspicious. And right when people were finally warming up to the idea of Black Love 2.0, allegedly another woman emerged from nowhere, claiming to be in Hawaii at the same time. That was the moment the cracks in the story really began to show, and the internet went wild. According to Tasha K, the situation didn't just stop at Hawaii. Allegedly, there was another woman in California, someone involved in credit repair, who was reportedly part of this web. Meanwhile, Remy Ma was allegedly attempting to remove Papoose from a North Carolina residence, and according to Tasha K, he couldn't leave just yet because of this California woman, allegedly the only one not masculine, to use the phrasing online. Suddenly, the narrative isn't just about one woman or one trip, it's about allegedly multiple women spread across multiple states, all intersecting with Papoose at different points in time, all allegedly unaware of each other, or at least unaware of the full extent of the situation. And Hawaii itself allegedly became the tipping point. Tasha K claimed that Papoose wasn't just celebrating Clarissa's win publicly, he was allegedly entertaining a side chick at the same time. The side chick's Instagram stories allegedly led directly back to him, creating what many fans called proof that something shady was going on. One story in particular had people side-eyeing so hard it went viral overnight. Social media exploded with comments like, "Show me, prove it, where's the tea?" And suddenly, a story that started as an alleged rumor became a trending topic. Now, here's where things escalated. According to Tasha K, she didn't just post about Hawaii or the alleged side chick, she flat out called Clarissa Shields a side chick herself, a mistress. A champion in the ring, yes, but allegedly a side piece at home. And as you can imagine, that didn't sit well with Clarissa. Reports say she allegedly sent lawyers after Tasha K immediately, and the internet watched as the drama spiraled. It's important to note that Tasha K's posts reportedly weren't even about alleged marijuana use or habits. That came later. The alleged legal reaction from Clarissa was allegedly over being labeled a side chick, the notion that while she was achieving professional success, allegedly her personal loyalty was in question. And, as if things weren't messy enough, Remy Ma allegedly fueled the fire by dropping hints that Clarissa wasn't the only one Papoose was allegedly involved with. Allegedly desperate to maintain a public relationship with him, Clarissa reportedly found herself deep in the chaos, navigating social media storms, legal threats, and the shadow of multiple women in the picture. And the alleged pressure didn't stop there. According to reports circulating online, Clarissa's inner circle allegedly contributed to the mess. Her best friend, Jada, was allegedly sharing private childhood details publicly. Her coach reportedly claimed she had fought while pregnant. Suddenly, Clarissa was allegedly dealing with multiple pressures at once, navigating a potential cheating scandal, responding to legal threats, managing the public's eye on her professional achievements, and allegedly reconciling the betrayal of people she trusted. Tasha K even hinted that Clarissa may have been smoking, or at least exposed to someone who was, which fans debated endlessly online. But Tasha's alleged focus wasn't on Clarissa's habits or health, it was about the chaos, the loyalty, and her alleged positioning as the side chick. And according to social media chatter, this was the moment when Clarissa's public success collided with her private struggles, creating a perfect storm that had fans glued to their screens. Just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, enter the Pimp C Beyoncé rumor. According to various clips resurfaced online, there's an allegation that Pimp C had a tape involving a major R&B superstar, and people immediately started connecting the dots to Beyoncé. But before jumping too far ahead, we have to talk about Pimp C himself. Back in the mid-2000s, Pimp C wasn't just another rapper in the room. He was outspoken, refused to bow to industry politics, and reportedly kept a camcorder on him at almost all times. Some of the footage allegedly captured industry conversations and situations he probably shouldn't have witnessed. Occasionally, he allegedly captured something so sensitive that it made waves long after it was recorded. And according to online speculation, one clip allegedly included people discussing a major R&B star, and in one moment, an old friend reportedly almost said Beyoncé's name aloud. That single slip is what allegedly sent the internet into meltdown mode, reigniting a decades-old rumor. The timing of all this, according to online chatter, allegedly adds another layer of intrigue. Around the same period as the alleged Pimp C tape resurfaced, there were reported tensions between Pimp C and Jay-Z. Pimp C, fiercely loyal to Tupac's legacy, reportedly had no patience for anyone trying to rewrite or manipulate history. Then, 2 days before his death, Pimp C was allegedly seen alive, healthy, and in good spirits. Suddenly, the official reports claimed an overdose, but those close to him allegedly didn't believe it. That's when the Beyoncé tape theory exploded again. Online speculation claimed that Pimp C may have had something that could have damaged Beyoncé's image, or the Carter brand. According to those rumors, someone may have wanted to erase any potential threat to her reputation. And the timing of Pimp C's death, allegedly on Jay-Z's birthday, added another layer to the conspiracy theories. Fans online reportedly began connecting dots. Pimp C's alleged tape, his death, the timing of events, the resurfacing of footage, and the Beyoncé connection all created an explosive narrative that had people debating for hours. Some claimed Pimp C wasn't allowed near Beyoncé, that Jay-Z handled it, and that these alleged events explained why certain narratives in the industry shifted so quickly. Meanwhile, the drama with Papoose and Clarissa Shields allegedly continued to unfold publicly. Fans were watching Hawaii, California, and social media stories for alleged clues. Every post, story, and caption was dissected for evidence of cheating, loyalty, or betrayal. The internet was on high alert, connecting all the pieces of what some called the ultimate crossover of personal scandal and industry intrigue. So if you try to combine all the alleged elements, you get a situation like this: Papoose allegedly juggling multiple women across multiple states, Clarissa allegedly under immense pressure professionally, legally, and socially, side chick Instagram stories allegedly connecting to Papoose, legal threats allegedly over being called a side chick, friends allegedly exposing private information, and the resurfaced Pimp C Beyoncé tape rumor creating even more chaos. It's messy, it's confusing, it's chaotic, and it's exactly the kind of story that explodes online. According to Tasha K and online speculation, all of these elements allegedly intersected in ways that the public could only watch, analyze, and debate. And whether any of it is true, that remains unconfirmed, but the narrative itself is fascinating for anyone following celebrity tea. However, stories like these rarely start with chaos. They start with appearances. On social media, Clarissa Shields appeared untouchable. She posted confident captions, loving couple photos, and messages of strength and loyalty. Everything looked solid, consistent, and carefully curated. But according to Tasha K, the reality behind the scenes was far more complicated. It wasn't a single moment of betrayal that defined the story. It was a series of small, subtle patterns that, when pieced together, revealed a much deeper narrative. Tasha K claims that these pieces of the puzzle didn't show up all at once. They arrived in fragments, mismatched dates that didn't line up, overlapping timelines that didn't make sense, and voice notes that seemed familiar yet were sent to multiple people. Excuses, too, were repeated, almost rehearsed, but sent to different recipients, masking the bigger picture. While Clarissa publicly projected confidence and stability, the foundation of that relationship, according to the narrative, was quietly cracking. And the first shocker, the first claim that flipped the story entirely, was that this wasn't about one other woman, it was about multiple women, all allegedly involved in different ways. According to Tasha K, this wasn't reckless, impulsive, or random behavior. It was organized. Allegedly, Papoose wasn't just hiding one secret situation, he was running a system with at least 5 women, each assigned a specific role, a unique lane, and a carefully defined purpose. One woman, she claimed, was emotional support, someone he leaned on for comfort, someone who was consistently connected to him in ways designed to make her feel secure. Another was intentionally kept quiet, low profile, completely off social media, almost as if she existed in a parallel world that only he could access. A third was a situation from the past that never fully closed, lingering emotionally and keeping history within reach. The fourth was a more recent addition, impulsive, short-term, but still active. And finally, the fifth was allegedly saved for later, close enough to stay available, distant enough to remain undefined. Tasha K didn't frame this as chaotic, she framed it as design. Every woman in this system had a role to play. Every message, every timeline, every voice note allegedly had purpose. The claim here isn't that mistakes were made, it's that there was an architecture to the deception, a quiet structure that allowed one man to maintain control over multiple emotional lanes without them intersecting, at least not visibly. So where does Clarissa Shields fit in all of this? According to Tasha K, this is where things get tragic. People, the narrative claims, tried to warn Clarissa privately, not in comment sections, not on social media, not in viral posts. Quiet, subtle nudges, gentle warnings, conversations that raised small questions that didn't quite sit right. But Clarissa, reportedly, was deep in what Tasha K calls love mode. Love mode is powerful. It has a way of filtering out red flags, reframing small doubts, and turning inconsistent behavior into something that seems acceptable. It encourages defense, not confrontation. It prioritizes trust over instinct. And in this state, Clarissa allegedly accepted reassurance at face value, defended loyalty publicly, and dismissed the warning signs quietly occurring behind the scenes. In other words, according to the narrative, she was the most visible woman in the system, the one whose confidence and public strength inadvertently protected the structure of secrecy. And the question that emerges, the one no one wanted to say aloud, was Clarissa really the main one, or just the most visible one? Every story has a pivot point, a moment when the illusion begins to crack. For Clarissa, Tasha K claims, that moment occurred on Christmas. While the world saw couples posts and celebratory photos, the behind-the-scenes narrative, according to Tasha, was starkly different. Clarissa reportedly spent the holiday alone inside a Louis Vuitton store, allegedly racking up about $30,000. Meanwhile, Papoose was reportedly with his family, including Remy Ma and their daughter. It's not just the alleged event itself that mattered, it's the claim of priority and placement. Clarissa allegedly believed that the day belonged to them, to their love, to their shared story. But according to Tasha K, that day was already designated for someone else. The lie wasn't loud, it was quiet, carefully packaged, and socially acceptable. The narrative here isn't about money, it isn't about gifts, it's about visibility, access, and emotional priority. And according to the report, the realization that she wasn't prioritized allegedly triggered the first stage of her private collapse. Not a public meltdown, but an internal reckoning. One of the most striking aspects of this narrative is the role of silence.
In most situations, when allegations appear online, people expect public statements, denials, or clarifications. But in this case, according to Tasha K, none of that happened. Papoose didn't explode with explanations. He didn't issue long rebuttals. He didn't engage in public confrontation. And according to Tasha K, that silence wasn't random, it was deliberate.
When receipts are real, silence becomes strategy. Each unspoken word prevents further scrutiny. Every moment without denial becomes an opportunity for the narrative to compress inward. The public focuses on social media posts, comments, and reactions, while the people involved experience the pressure privately. Silence, in this context, isn't absence, it's control. And according to Tasha K, this pressure forces the person on the other side to make a choice: walk away and protect dignity, or stay and protect the image. Both come at a cost, both leave a mark, and both demand emotional calculation. The word collapse is dramatic, but the narrative Tasha K presents frames it differently. The collapse wasn't a public display of emotion. It wasn't tears, viral clips, or dramatic confrontations. It was quiet, internal, and psychological. A collapse of trust, a collapse of certainty, a collapse of the reality that had been defended publicly for months. According to the report, Clarissa allegedly began to notice the patterns, the repeated excuses, overlapping timelines, and familiar messages sent to multiple people. Instead of confronting it publicly, she reportedly tried to contextualize it privately, looking for explanations that could preserve her narrative of loyalty and love. And that is where Tasha K emphasizes the emotional complexity. Defending strength publicly can delay reckoning, but it does not prevent it. Eventually, realization arrives, and it arrives quietly. Once the system allegedly revealed itself, the decision became unavoidable: walk away and admit the truth publicly, or stay and live privately with knowledge that loyalty was not mutual, that visibility did not equal priority, and that silence was never protection. Strength, according to Tasha K, can be a double-edged sword. The strongest woman in the room often absorbs the most damage quietly. People assume she's fine, capable, and resilient. They assume she can manage the weight of the narrative without help. And in situations like this, where the public persona is carefully maintained, that assumption becomes a trap. Strength delays the need for intervention. Confidence hides vulnerability. Visibility protects a system rather than the individual. Tasha K frames this as a calculated exploitation of emotional labor. When someone is strong, capable, and publicly composed, they are expected to endure quietly. They are assumed to be unaffected by the cracks forming behind closed doors. And once clarity arrives, the cost of public defense versus private reckoning becomes painfully clear. By the time the story reaches its peak, the narrative isn't about 5 women, Christmas, or timelines anymore. It's about choice. Clarissa allegedly stands at a crossroads. One path is walking away, publicly, decisively, permanently. The other is staying quietly, enduring a structure that has already been exposed and understood. Neither option offers peace. Neither comes without consequence. Walking away costs pride. Staying costs self-respect, and neither can be postponed indefinitely. Tasha K frames this as the moment of the real collapse, not public spectacle, not social media drama, but a private reckoning. It's the moment someone sees clearly and must act. It's the moment where perception, reality, and loyalty collide in ways that social media can never capture. Finally, Tasha K emphasizes the nature of systems like this. Systems built on multiple emotional lanes, silence, and carefully curated visibility do not fall immediately when exposed. They resist, they compress, they apply pressure quietly, testing the endurance of the person holding the emotional weight. And in these moments, silence is not neutral, it's strategic. It's designed to fatigue, to create hesitation, and to force the person affected into difficult decisions. The narrative suggests that when patterns repeat, denial loses its power, silence stops protecting and begins to erode trust, and once someone sees the structure clearly, there is no returning to the previous state of ignorance. Decisions must be made, and the consequences are permanent. Fans, as you might expect, went wild. Some defended Clarissa, insisting she's a champion both inside and outside the ring. Others accused Papoose of betrayal and questioned his loyalty. And of course, many people were endlessly speculating about the Beyoncé and Pimp C connection, trying to fill in gaps, create timelines, and make sense of years-old rumors. Some argued that Clarissa may have been too deep in the relationship to notice or respond, while others questioned whether the entire scenario with Hawaii and California women was fabricated or exaggerated. Social media exploded with analysis, memes, and theories, and the story became almost impossible to untangle, the perfect storm of personal scandal and industry. So, what do you think? Was Papoose allegedly running a complicated system of relationships, or is this just coincidence and social media misinterpretation? Was Clarissa Shields truly the main woman, or just the most visible? And what about Pimp C and the resurfaced Beyoncé rumors? Coincidence, conspiracy, or something in between? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video, like, subscribe, and remember, the tea isn't always about who's right or wrong. Sometimes it's about the chaos, the speculation, and watching the pieces unfold. Because in a story like this, the most compelling part isn't always the truth, it's the mess.